Hello, dear children. This story is about a girl who is completely deaf. Although the girl is completely deaf, but she has the strong desire to learn music. And here, the percussionist Ron Forbes helped her to learn music. Okay, so let us continue the story to learn more about Evelyn Glennie. She never looked back from that point onwards. Here, that point means the point when she started learning music from the percussionist Ron Forbes. She toured means traveled the United Kingdom with a youth orchestra. Youth means a group of young people, orchestra means a group of people who play instruments. Okay, and by the time she was 16, she had decided to make music her life. Actually, when she was only 16 years old, she had decided that she will make her life in music. Okay. She auditioned for the Royal Academy of Music and scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. Auditioned means gave a short performance so that the director could decide whether she was good enough or not, and she scored one of the highest marks in the history of the Academy. She gradually moved from orchestral work to solo performances, and in a phased manner, she just moved from the orchestral performance to solo performances. Solo means here single performances. At the end of her 3 year course, she had captured most of the top awards. And here, 3 year course means her course in music in the Royal Academy of Music. There, she just won most of the top awards in music. And for all this, Evelyn won't accept any hint of heroic achievement. Here, the author tells us that though Evelyn was the most popular percussionist in the world, she never boasted of this thing. She simply says that if you work hard and know where you are going, you will surely get there. And she got right to the top, the world's most sought after multi percussionist with a mastery of some 1,000 instruments and hectic international schedule. Actually, she got on the top of the music world. Okay, it means she could play 1,000 instruments, or we can say she can play because she is alive. She is in this world today also, and hectic international schedule, and she also has her hectic means here busy international schedule means she goes from one country to another country in order to give her performances. It is intriguing to watch Evelyn function so effortlessly without hearing. And further, the narrator says that it is intriguing. Intriguing means here fascinating and curious. It is curious to see her to perform effortlessly on the stage. In our 2 hour discussion, she never missed a word. The author further tells us that he discussed with her for 2 hours and she never missed a single word. Means she told everything about herself. Men with bushy beard give me trouble. Here she means to say that the men, the people who have bushy beard, bushy means long beard, they gave her trouble. As children, we know that she used to communicate, and she communicate with other people by observing and watching their lips and the facial expression. And here, because of the long beards, she was unable to watch the lips and the facial expression of the people. That's why she says that men with bushy beards give me trouble. And she laughed. It is uh, not just watching the lips, it's the whole face, especially the eyes. She also tells us that it is not just watching the lips of the people in order to communicate with them, but it's the whole face, especially the eyes. She speaks flawlessly with a Scottish lilt. Here, flawlessly means without a fault or mistake. And Scottish lilt means a way of speaking, and she has a Scottish accent when she speaks her sentences. My speech is clear because I could hear till I was 11, she says. And she says that her speech, her way of speaking is clear because she could hear till her 11 years age. Okay, but that doesn't explain how she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. The author tells us that, but it doesn't mean that she managed to learn French and master basic Japanese. Means being deaf, she managed to learn French language and also the basics of Japanese language. Okay, because she is a hardworking woman. As for music, she explains, it pours in through every part of my body. When she was asked question about music, she tells she learns music through every part of her body. It tingles in the skin, my cheekbones, and even in my hair. Tingles means causes a slight pricking or stinging sensation. Okay, and where it causes in her skin, in her cheekbones, and even in her hair. She could feel the music through all these parts of her body. When she plays the xylophone, she could sense the sound passing up the stick into her fingertips. Means through her fingertips, she could feel the music. By leaning against the drums, she can feel the resonances flowing into her body. Resonances means echoes of sound. And by leaning against the drum, leaning means bending, and she could feel the sound flowing into her body, the sound of the drum. On a wooden platform, she removes her shoes so that the vibrations pass through her bare feet and up her legs. And when she is on a wooden platform, she removes her shoes in order to feel the music, to feel the vibrations that pass through her bare feet and up her legs. Not surprisingly, Evelyn delights her audiences, and Evelyn delights her audiences as expected. In 1991, she was presented with the Royal Philharmonic Society's prestigious Soloist of the Year award. Okay, she won this award in the year 1991. Says master percussionist James Blades. And who tells this? The master percussionist James Blades. God may have taken her hearing. Sorry, he says this line. God may have taken her hearing, but he has given her back something extraordinary. What we hear, she feels far more deeply than any one of us. That is why she expresses music so beautifully. These lines are said by James Blades, who was a master percussionist, and he spoke these lines about Evelyn Glennie. Evelyn confesses that she is something of a workaholic. Confesses means admits, accepts that she is workaholic. Workaholic means a person who finds it difficult to stop working, who wants to do work and work only. I have just got to work, often harder than classical musicians. And she says that she has to only just do work and often harder and harder than the classical musicians. But the rewards are enormous. She says that the rewards for this hard work are enormous. Enormous means immense, big. Apart from the regular concerts, Evelyn also gives free concerts in prisons and hospitals. Concerts means her musical shows, and she gives her shows, free shows in prisons and hospitals in order to entertain the people there. She also gives high priority to classes for young musicians. Here the narrator means to say that she teaches the young musicians and she gives it high priority, priority to her classes. Anne Richlin of the Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children says, here is another person whose name is Anne Richlin. and he is from Beethoven Fund for Deaf Children. She is a shining inspiration for deaf children. And he says that she is a shining, she is a bright inspiration for deaf children. They see that there is nowhere that they can't go. Means they believe that they can also achieve success like Evelyn Glennie, those who are physically disabled. Evelyn Glennie has already accomplished more than most people twice her age. Accomplished means completed. It means she has reached the height of the success twice of her age, more than most people twice her age. She has brought percussion to the front of the orchestra, and the percussion, the instrument, has been brought to the front of the orchestra by Evelyn Glennie and demonstrated that it can be very moving. And she showed that it can be moving. What can be moving? The percussion. She has given inspiration to those who are handicapped, people who look to her and say, if she can do it, I can. Means the handicapped people, the physically disabled people get motivated by her achievements. And not the least, she has given enormous pleasure to millions. And of course, she has given big and immense pleasure to millions of people by her performances, by her hard work. So, children, this was a motivational story uh, about Evelyn Glennie, and this motivates the people, especially the people who are handicapped and want to do something great in their life. So that's all about the part one. Evelyn Glennie listens to music without hearing it. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you, children.